Deep Dive with David Stendahl, where we trade without ego, no emotion, no greed, and no opinion. Before we begin tonight's video blog, please read over our trading disclaimer and remember to trade smart and accept the reality that trading futures is risky. This presentation does not provide buy-sell recommendations, and our information is strictly provided for educational purposes only. As always, trade at your own risk and analysis. Hey there, it's David Stendahl with tonight's Deep Dive. It is August 22nd, 2018, and I thought I would take a look at corn here today, the ETF being corn, C-O-R-N, a really good ETF to trade. However, we're going to be talking about things on the short side today. So what we're looking at here, and this corn ETF is a long-based ETF. So here's the fact is corn's in a trading range right now, despite the fact that we had some downside volatility. It's still in that range. We've got the short, intermediate, and long-term trends all point to the downside, and we have the technicals pointing to the downside. So there's a lot of things that are pointing on the negative side here. Systems themselves are actually short, but you know, we're actually at a critical point right now, something that could actually turn out to be quite nice for those that want to jump into things on the short side. Just to give some perspective, here's the energy level, and what we're looking at is corn is at the tail end down here where it's in a consolidation phase. Now this is actually a chart from last evening, but it's still going to be on the low side here just because of where the market is, and it's kind of a volatile consolidation, if I can say that, and the best way to express this is to actually just simply look at a chart. So here's corn daily bars. You can see today's action where it sold off for a little over 2%, and it was fairly strong, having broken back below the 50-day moving average. But if you look at it all the way back through this bar right through here, which would have been late July, you can see that the market has been in a consolidation here. There's been tradable opportunities, yes, but it's been in a consolidation. And what's basically happening here today is this. Here's the wave level. I don't always talk about this. It's typically a pretty good indicator for a trend change to the market. And with the little sell-off here, this yellow line coming back down, that's a bearish signal. So I'm going to show you two signals that have happened recently, one that was positive and one that was negative. Here's the negative. You can see the market had that signal. It broke down right through here, and if we go all the way to the top of the chart, it almost pegged the exact bottom with this trend change here. That the trend was to the downside, and it actually reversed course. And it was really, quite honestly, pretty impressive in how it was able to peg that. But you would have expected the market to sell off here, so this one didn't actually work. Here's another indication where the market sold off right through here, and we had the trend change, and the market was selling off in a similar fashion where it sold off here. It sold off to this point, and it accelerated all the way through here. So it was one of these types of conditions that it picked up momentum. And this is kind of where we are right now with this potential trend change and the potential for it to come back down to a support level and then theoretically start to break down again. Well, here we are right now. Today's action caused the market to have this little trend change, and it is confirming it to the downside. And we are sitting on this level of support at 352.5. If we come all the way across here, you see in the past it found support. We're at support right now, so we're at a really critical point that if the market doesn't reverse tomorrow, it's likely to come down to this major support level right through here, in a similar fashion to what we saw back through here, where the market had this little reversal in trend from a positive to a negative, and the market really started to pick up momentum. Now, it's not always perfect. That's why I always show a good and a bad example. And here the market did the about face and started to head higher. But we're at this critical point. We're on this weak, most definitely weak support, but it is one that is kind of critical. When you really scroll all the way across there, you see that it is touched this low. We're at this low right through here. chances are that it's going to come down and hit this lower threshold, this lower support level. And that level is at 339 and 6/8. That's what this level is right through here for corn. So there's a very good tradable opportunity. We're in this consolidation period from the energy level, meaning it's quite low. And when we go into a low consolidation phase, it typically starts to accelerate. I think we're seeing the beginnings of that with the 2% down day, and we'll have to see what does take place here. But if you're on the short side of corn right now, you want a break below this this threshold that we're in right now, and you want it to approach down through here on a nice little maybe 2 or 3 day type trading opportunity. And then we'll kind of reconvene and we'll see what actually does take place here. If you're long, you are really anticipating that the market's going to stop and do an about face and start to head higher. It's at that critical point right now that we're betting with the systems that it's going to be more on the short side. So I'll just show you this for the sector as a whole. Here's what the positions are net. We are short corn with a nice $14,500 profit with the open positions. We actually have two shorts, one long. That's why it's showing a net short one position. We have a nice position here in soybeans with an open position profit of almost $12,000. And we've got a short position here in wheat of 2,700. So across the board on the greens, we're short everything. And it's not necessarily heavily short with a lot of systems. There's some hedging that's going on here, but you can see from an open position perspective that we're doing quite well for at least corn and for soybeans, and we're starting to build up something here in wheat. So for those of you that are trading corn, watch that critical level. I mean, literally the lows that we're at right now and this threshold right through here, this support level at 352.5. That's what this is essentially looking at. That's the critical point. If we don't do immediately an about a face, then we would anticipate that it's going to sell off here and really pick up steam and come down to this lower threshold of 339 to 6/8. So watch the corn positions. We'll see what does take place, and we'll look at another market tomorrow. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.